Hi, hi, hi. Hello, everyone. So good to be here. Welcome to another special edition of your favorite study abroad live session brought to you by the one and only Vantage Migration. Remember, we're your best advantage. So today, we've brought you a very interesting topic. Yeah, career in tech. What are the schools? What countries should you consider when you want to further your career in tech? This is a program for you. This is not to say that apart from the countries mentioned, there are no other top countries, but we're bringing you the best, right? Yes, so one of the best in tech is the countries we're going to be looking at today. And we have a special guest in the house who is going to be able to dissect this topic better, right? So please do well to stay to the end as there's going to be questions and answers after this session. So those who are going to watch on the replay, I greet you all specially. We are going to be having special questions and answers after this session. And this session is going to be very interesting because while we're going to be talking about tech, we'll dive into all the nitty-gritties about study abroad. So watch to the end, drop your questions in the comment sections so that I will take them. So if you're watching on the replay, it doesn't matter, still drop your questions in the comment section and we will respond to them in the comments. We'll be in the comments watching after the session. Okay, so join me, let's get started. All right, remember, tell me your name, your course of interest, your country, right? So we know we have some treats for you. I'm sure you want to find out. Please watch to the end. All right, so let's jump in. Of course, we take advantage and
Vantage migration. Anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, we are your number one education consultants. We are your number one education consultants for your admission, for your scholarship. No matter the degree, we are ready for you all over the world for your PhD, for your PhD. Migration. We are your advantage.
we are your best advantage. Anywhere in the world, we are there for you. All right, so without further ado, let's welcome our guests. Hi, Mr. Priye, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Hello, Chinoye. Nice for you to have me here once again. And to our lovely viewers,
Hello.
Hi. I hope you're doing wherever you are. Okay, so today's topic is top 3 countries to migrate to for a career in tech. We had a brief discussion, Chinaya and I, and okay, Chinaya.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So, what are the 3 countries? I know you want to know. So, there's this debate here that's going on. When you say top 3 countries, let's say you decide to Google. Google is going to, some people are of the mind that I'm going to name these countries. And can you tell me in the comment section? I bet at high in tech, why some of the view that the other 3 countries I'm going to mention are not one of the best. Okay. So, my top 3 countries in tech are the US. It has to be there, right? The US,
Exactly.
Canada. So there's division on this. US, Canada, and none other than Germany are one of the top 3 countries in tech. So tech is everywhere. There are so many great countries in tech, but the top 3 are that I'm going to present to you today are US, Canada, and Germany. But another school of thought believe that the top 3 countries in tech is US, China, and India. So what are your take on that? Let me know in the comment section. Remember, I promised that we're going to also be looking at three schools in each of these countries, right? That are advanced in tech. So let's say you want to go to China. If you're one of the people that feel China is top in tech, yes, I'm going to be giving you three schools in China that you should consider. There are so many great schools, but maybe top three leading in tech. We'll be looking at that. Now everybody's about tech, tech, tech. This one is a tech boom. So I think the funniest thing, technology is now the beginning of existence. Basically, it helps you to do your work smarter. So even if you're a lawyer, you're a teacher, you are a what can you be? Anything you want to be or you are, you need
Medical
technology
doctor,
to help. Yeah, you need
accountant.
technology to exactly. You need technology to help you work smarter and better. So for lawyers, for instance, you see lawyers, they have electronic law reports now. Rather than looking through all those big paperbacks, they use electronic law reports and it saves them time. They have templates for preparing their drafts. We see teachers now. Yeah, there are online videos you can use, refer to, that will help you. Students in this age are enjoying better than our parents who had to pour through big books, dusty, smelly books in the library. Now the internet is at everyone's fingertip. You want to do your assignment and you are late in turning it up. Within an hour, you can. Now there's even things like ChatGPT, right? So you just type in a topic and boom, you've gotten it. So tech is very important. And if you want to position yourself nicely, you need you need to be versatile or to have a but even if it's a background knowledge in tech. Now, so like I say on this show, an advantage migration, there is no career, there's no course you're interested in that is not important. Every course is important. However, while in those courses of your interest, you need to be able to position yourself better so you stand out. And so that is knowing the technological part in your program. What do I mean? So let's say let me use law for instance. You're a lawyer, yeah, traditionally you're called to bar, you wear robes, but there are different technologies you can use that will help you work smarter, like the electronic law reports. So if you have a program or you want to go to court for a case, instead of you going to begin to research and take so much time trying to check through the index of one book to the next, with let's say electronic law reports, you can just type in your search the kind of case you want, and voila, you've seen thousands of results. So these are ways. So if you want to go for a program, and let's say you want to study abroad, you should look for a program and a school that is tailored towards your career, right? And of course, there's also this saying that everybody should learn a career in trade. So you see people going for what they call a UX something, different kinds of courses in tech. You
Yeah,
see
you
people going for
design.
data analysis, data processing. What do you call it?
UI UX
What do you
design.
say?
UI UX design. UI slash UX design. It's should I call it an acronym?
Yeah, that's the
Basically,
word.
user interface. UI,
Yeah,
then
UI
UX,
UX
user
design.
experience. All right, all right.
Okay, yeah. So you see, so there are so many apart from the let me say there's some tech programs or courses that maybe if you don't have a background in tech in your undergraduate days or when you were a student and undergraduate, you might not be able to do that in furthering your program. But there are so many that it doesn't matter if you are a lawyer, you can actually take those tech programs, right? So that is why we are bringing you today's lecture, because most times you find yourself you want to get employment, and apart from the fact that let's say they need a lawyer or they need a teacher, they may make some requirements that if you're not versatile, if you don't know these things, you may miss out. So you may see we need a lawyer of 3 years background, should be knowledgeable in, let's say, Google Meet, Google what's that? Google Workspace, should be knowledgeable in so and so stuff, different kind of techie things that you may not be have known because you're just being in a traditional space. So that is why we are bringing you to this program. So now, let's say you want to further your career in tech, you want to give yourself an edge, right? There, because the world is changing and you need to plug in to where it is, right? Some of the countries are US. Now we know US is the mother hub. I think I'm going to leave Mr. Priye to talk about the US. Mr. Priye, please
You
give
cannot
us
talk
a
about
short
tech
exposition on the US.
and the United States in the same sentence without including a third party, and that third party is Silicon Valley. That is it. So I'll start from there. Silicon Valley is in California in the United States of America, and it is a place basically where you have the headquarters of most of the major tech companies in the world. So if you mention what Microsoft, you have it in Silicon Valley as their headquarters. Apple, Silicon Valley. Facebook, Silicon Valley. Google, Silicon Valley. And a host of others. Snap Incorporated, the providers of the Snapchat platform. Twitter, which was sold to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk then renamed it X. You have the headquarters in Silicon Valley. Have I mentioned Facebook? What about Instagram? All these platforms are owned by a parent company now called Meta in Silicon Valley. So United States were like pioneers in modern day technology, consumer technology, and the likes of it. Most of these companies we know today started off in the United States. Some 35, 40 years ago, some more recently in the 2000s, like Facebook, which eventually metamorphosized, like I use that word, I hope it's big, transcended into Meta. So likewise, you have institutions that offer courses, diverse courses in the tech field. So, for instance, in California, where you have most of all these tech companies, you also have institutions like University of California, both the Los Angeles campus and the campus in Berkeley, both of them in California. You have Caltech, California Institute of Technology, and then you have Stanford University. These three universities are one of the most coveted institutions in the world to pursue a tech career. And you have them in California, in Silicon Valley. When we're talking about tech courses, you think of the obvious, so starting with software design, computer engineering, software development. Those are like the traditional tech courses. But nowadays, there are certain, should I call it, burgeoning professions within the larger tech umbrella. So in the past 3 or 4 years, a lot of persons may have been hearing of things like data analysis, data science, data engineering, data analysis. You must have also been hearing of UI UX. UI UX means user interface, user experience, UI UX. You also must have been hearing of other, should I say, specific narrow field, like, okay, software development is general, right? But now you could have somebody that just specializes in front-end development. You have another who specializes in full stack. Full stack means that everything about the user software is specialized in developing it, improving it, fixing it if it goes wrong. So front end is what you see when you use the product. Back end is where all the codes and the algorithms and the structures are put in place to make the front end works. So if you're considering a career in tech, then USA is your first choice of destination, or ordinarily should be your first choice of destination. If you are looking for job opportunities, so what will I do after graduation? US has ample job opportunities for you. If you are looking for diverse courses to choose from, whether you want the traditional computer engineering, software development, or you want focused programs like data science, data engineering, data analytics, you have various institutions in the United States that offer courses in it. Generally speaking, the United States has, I think, probably more universities than any other single countries in the world. The United States is a big country, no less than 50 states, right? And some of those states have as much as 50 or more higher institutions of learning. Take New York, for instance. I can't exhaust the list. NYU, Columbia University, State University of New York. The list goes on and on. And speaking of tech, there is another institution that I forgot to mention, it just occurred to me, where you also find diverse range of courses to pursue, which is known as, the institution is known as MIT. MIT stands for Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Now, it's not in California, it's up north in the New England region, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that's the states. And there you have Harvard, an Ivy League school in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and then you also have Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So another advantage that America gives to you, so we've talked about the range of courses to pick from. Some of all these institutions, the admission process are quite competitive. So Harvard, if you want to gain admission to Harvard, aside from being extremely brilliant, your entire admission application package has to be sterling. It has to have a lot of weight. So we're talking about leadership positions. We're talking about, there are so many things that goes into it. But you also have other institutions that are not Ivy League institution, quite all right, but they also offer good quality of education. I understand from previous sessions that I think it's safe to say most of our viewers are from African countries. Sadly, give or take, there are not many, most of them are from like West African countries. Sadly, you will not find, at best, you won't find more than 3 African countries in the top 1,000 institutions on Times Higher Education ranking. So that means, yes, you may have worked hard enough to get your undergraduate degree or your HND from your polytechnic. You may be brilliant, you may be dedicated to your profession, but where you're coming from is at a disadvantage. So even if you don't get something like Harvard, Caltech, Stanford, and any of all those Ivy League schools, even if you could get admitted to a regular institution of learning in the United States, it's a win for you. It's a win. You are getting something better than where you're coming from. And it's also a stepping stone to greater things too. So there are so many other institutions you can look at. Not so long ago, I did a research and I found an institution called Central University of Missouri, CUM, Central University of Missouri. It's not an Ivy League school, but lo and behold, they have diverse tech career tech courses that they're offering, from the traditional computer science, computer engineering, to specialized program in data science, data analytics, and all of that. That is just one example of an institution in a state, just one state. The state is called Missouri. Yeah. So the institution is Central University of Missouri. So there are many others you can choose from. And career prospect is very, very enticing. Tech is poised to be one of the fastest growing career paths in the next 10 years and more. So the world is moving. The world is moving. Take, for instance, 34 years ago, the richest men in the whole world made their money from either oil or finance or some other fields. But if you check it today, you find out that 8 of the 10 richest men in the whole world made their money from tech. So if financial dreams, financial security, financial freedom is what is pushing you, propelling you to seek higher education, pursue tech. And look at the United States for the job opportunities, for the wide range of institutions to pick from the diverse courses, both traditional and novel courses. That sums it up. Chinoye.
Okay.
I hope I
didn't all right. Thank you so much. Yes. So thank you. All right. So in addition to what Mr. Priye said, let me round it up like this. For tech generally. So I know tech is the in thing now, but like when everybody was all about oil money, oil, the oil companies also need bankers, right? They do. They also need fresh hands, new bloods, because as the older generations, as the older ones keep getting older, they need younger ones to come into the field, right? And so there's also need for teachers, lecturers in the field. So the fact is that while tech is one of the fastest growing um, um, means of making some cool cash, all other forms of the sector, all other parts of the sector, the businessmen, the artists, the artisans, the everybody are very important. The thing I want to point out to you is that you need to just add tech to your career path. Okay, so there's no need for a total career change or overhauling of yourself. Let's say you're a lawyer, then you want to just switch to tech and maybe you start afresh. No, you can add technology to the mix, right? Do your law with technology. That will help you stand out better. That's also the angle that I want to point out to you, because I don't want some people will be like, hey, me that did what will I say now? I don't know what program to say. Me that did this kind of course, what will I now do? Is there any hope for
English
me?
literature.
I'm a teacher. I probably took art course. Okay, yeah. So me that did English literature, or you took a language, let's say French, or you probably you're Nigerian, you did Ibibio language and Igbo, or something like that, and then you feel like it is over for me. What will I do? Or you learned agriculture, and then you're wondering how is this going to help you? All you need to do is mix tech with agriculture. That's the wisdom. You don't need to totally overhaul everything and decide that you want to switch over to let me say in tech, and some people might be looking for a BSc or you're looking for a master's program in pure tech and all like that. No, it's not necessary. You can just add tech to the mix. So I know of a student, a graduate who teaches agriculture, snail farming online. He's using tech, is he not? He created a whole platform
Yeah,
teaching
yeah.
snail farming online. Assuming you learned a language, let's say English or Ibibio, if you're a Nigerian, or you took a Ghanaian language, any language. So sometimes it looks like the cheapest pro courses are those ones where in your BSc you did, let's say, Igbo language or Yoruba language, and it'd be like you don't even have a chance anywhere in working field. It doesn't matter. Now we have things like Duolingo, different language app that teach you different languages. You can actually teach languages online, create an app. Just so many things you can do. I want you to broaden your horizon. And so that is why we are bringing you this program. You can switch to tech generally. You can take some programs, courses in tech, not because you're switching to tech technically, but to add it to your background so that you will stand a better chance, right? Who wants to cook now and be pounding? Nah, nobody. Everybody is blending. Now you don't even need to pound your yam, for instance. You can blend it and all like that. You can blend it. There are different mixes for that. So technology is permitting the society, and you need to brush up on the know-hows. So in Vantage Migration, we have knowledge of all these tech programs that matches some of your courses. So let's say as a lawyer, what tech program will match your law degree, that when you take it as a maybe in order to further your career as a postgraduate program, a master's or a PhD, it will help you stand out. So you don't need to totally overhaul yourself to start from BNC. I saw someone that wanted to start afresh. No, there are courses that you can match to your degree, your BSc, your foundational degree, and then you take those programs in tech or something, and it will help you stand out. And that's why we're bringing you today's program. So now we've talked about some schools. Like Mr. Perez said, there are some schools in the US that are very why they are very good. They are Ivy League schools. And I think Ivy League schools are basically five in the world or thereabout, or in the US. And most time, why they are Ivy League schools, there are also other great schools in the US. Okay, and since the country is a tech country, most of the programs taught in the US are taught with tech in mind, and they also teach you it's an angle to ensure that you are job worthy. So if you check some schools' websites during my search for scholarships and trip programs, and I know if you've been an ardent follower of this session, you will know that we have brought you full scholarships, trip programs from the US, right? You see the school advertising the fact that they get jobs a lot, 70% employment rates, and most of these schools even invite these
Yeah,
companies to come and exactly. Most of these schools even invite these companies to come and pick from the students or the graduates they churn out every year. So you stand a good chance. And some people be like, America is so expensive now. That's true, technically for some programs, but there are also cheap schools. Those are the things we find very easy and Vantage migration, and there are full scholarships. So America have been doing admission for a while. Very soon we'll be bringing you more full scholarships from programs in America. But we've done that on this session. You can go watch our previous session if you missed any of our session where we brought full scholarship from the US. We've also found cheap programs. Okay, so you don't have to fear. You can actually study in the US, and you can do that with a full scholarship or a cheap tuition. So that's not a problem. So we have been talking about the US. I told you on my list I have the US, Canada, and Germany. Yeah, yes. Some people argue that it is
Yep.
US, China, and India. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think India and China should be among the top three countries? I have my own views. I want to hear your own views in the comment section. But let me go on to Canada. Technically, one would say Canada is kind of like junior brother to the US. Canada stands out. Most of the companies in the US also are in Canada, and I would say because of proximity, they cut the tech breeze.
Tech
So
ball.
Canada is very good, but yes, but I will not put them at number two technically, but I will. Why? Why am I putting them at number two? Because they have over the years they have improved in their education. Most of the universities in Canada often and always include technical tech in their teachings. So they just don't teach you. I know that for some schools in Africa, for instance, let's say you were a computer graduate, you may have you may have just been taught the old programming language, let's say Fortran. You were not taught any more current one, right? But schools in Canada will teach you the more upgraded version, the old version. They go way over and above. Some people might be in robotics in some African countries, for instance. Unfortunately, like Mr. Priya said, unfortunately, some African countries were not yet up there in tech, but we're getting there. So when you want to do robotics, for instance, in the let me say in even our little children in Africa, they do robotics. You might not actually get to meet a full life robot during that your class, but you might create robotic materials and all from different things you find around you, right? Yes. However, let's say you're schooling in Canada, you will find full life robot which you have to work with. So while you're doing tech, they give you the materials to help you stand out, and that is what makes them one of the best in the country, okay, and in the world in tech. And then there are some
In the
schools
world
in
in general.
Canada that stand out in the field of technology. Because when you're talking about when you're talking about a country, something made them stand out, and it's the school that churn out these great minds. And then one of them is University of Waterloo. And you know the funniest thing or the best thing about this, Dr. Linda also went to University of Waterloo as as a master's student with a full scholarship. In fact,
And
she
a
did her master's
PhD.
and PhD program in U
And a
Waterloo.
PhD, exactly.
Yes, and all of them were fully funded. Yes, fully funded. And not just Dr. Linda. Since Dr. Linda went to U Waterloo, other Vantage migration students have gone on to U Waterloo. It's not like our main G. A lot of people are in U Waterloo. Okay, so U Waterloo is very great in technology. They do a lot of research in technology, and it is one of the best in the country in Canada when it comes to crypto, software engineering, and whatnot. So even when you're doing, let's say, an MBA in Canada or in U Waterloo, you are going to be doing it in the I want to put it this way to look at it in the tech way, right? So I advocate for us to learn, do your traditional program, but add a mix of tech. So if you want to stand out, we are bringing you universities that will that is great in tech, and so because they are very good in tech, they also add that to their teaching curriculum. There are some students in I once met a student in one of these African countries. I don't want to call the name, okay, where the student did accounting, studied accounting, but he never actually opened what's this thing that accountants use? Let me use the basic one. He never actually did any work on Excel, Microsoft
Excel
Excel.
sheet,
And what is
Microsoft Excel.
accounting? Yes. What is what is accounting without using the Microsoft Excel or something? You don't. It doesn't know it. So how will you succeed, right? But they probably taught them technically in theory, but there was no practical. So in good countries like this, in Canada, in the US, and in some of these universities like you Waterloo would mention, you will actually undergo the practical part of what you're being taught. So you're not hearing it, you're seeing it. And there's a whole world of difference between theory and practical. You may know it, you've heard of it, but actually doing it is a different ballgame. So you find people who are actually graduates, but they are scared because they don't know it. There's no experience. And if you notice, most of these top countries, they look out for experience, practical, not just theoretical. So I'm a graduate, yes, we know. Can you do the work? Have you seen it being done before? Will you recognize if it is that? So these schools stand out in that. And of course, after New Waterloo, we have McGill University, McGill, McGill University. But this is located in Quebec, okay? And then we have University of Toronto. I'm sure of you know Toronto is all located in Ontario, okay? Ontario, Canada. These are some great schools in Canada that is in tech. Okay, so when you take a program in this school, they teach you the tech way. Let me know in the comment section some of your thoughts. Okay, hi Fuseni, thank you. So let me know in the comment section some of your thoughts. Do well to like this video if you're finding it interesting, so that we'll know and bring you more content. Okay, so let's move over to Germany. Germany is also one of the top universities. Mr. Priya, do you want to give us a brief talk on Germany?
Yeah, Germany, also known as Deutschland. I wish I could say one or two things in native German, but unfortunately I can't. Germany, I agree with your ranking, putting Germany up there in the top three. Why? Tech is short form for technology, right? Right. And yes, when we use the word tech today, we're usually referring to computer technology. So computers, hardware, software, and everything in between and around that. But prior to this age of explosion in accessibility of consumer technology, there were other aspects of technology that made life simple, made life easy. Take, for instance, automobiles. Okay, they've gone through so many stages from the first invention to what we have today of smart cars, sports cars, SUVs, and the likes. And Germany seems to always be either they are pioneering it, that they are the forefront pioneers, or they are giving others a rub for their money. So that's one of the reasons why I like Germany. Think of automobile, for instance, mechanical engineering and automobiles. Most of the biggest manufacturers are in Germany, from the popular Mercedes-Benz, BMW, to Volkswagen, Chrysler, and the likes of them, many others. Now, when it also comes to computer technology, Berlin is becoming like a tech hub in Europe for startup companies in softwares, as well as institutions that offer programs, practical programs now, not just theoretical knowledge, practical training for computer software, computer engineering, computer technology. So Germany definitely has to be on that list. So I agree with you totally, China here. Now, just like we have it in the US, you also have programs that offer traditional training, which is traditional courses in computer technology, computer science basically, software engineering, software development. It may interest you to know that nowadays we have researchers, okay, that are trying to fuse computer technology with other aspects of science and technology. So take for instance automobile. One of the current one of the trending topics, focus areas of research is what we call self-driven cars, otherwise known as automated cars. There are different layers to it. There's the most basic form of automated cars, which is the popular automatic vehicles. Okay, and we also have semi-automated cars, and then at the highest level, we have the autonomous vehicles. Now, for this to work, because it's self-driven, it's working independently of human control, it needs software. It needs high-level codes. It needs an algorithm that can make it to think, to decide when to move, when to halt, hold the brake, when to steer to the left, the right, how to read the map, digital maps, and how it can be connected to the internet real time, because such inventions need access to data to operate. So German companies are pioneering it. They are doing a lot of research in that areas, and by extension, institutions in Germany offer programs of research focused on those fields. So we're looking at, you could see something like software engineering for automobiles. You could see something like vehicle design interface or car design interface. So the same concept, the same principles that comes to UI UX, interface, user experience, are also being applied to the body as well as the interior of automobiles, of cars. So they're also applying tech basically to mechanical engineering, to car manufacturing. And there are lots of institutions in Germany that also offer those programs. And a good thing about it is that though Germany has its own national language, which is not English, even though most of English words were borrowed from German as well as French, Latin, and the likes of them, some of the institutions offer programs in English as well as fully funded programs. If language barrier is something that scares you, so yeah, I understand many West African countries speak English due to the colonial history, so the natural inclination is to pursue a program in either UK, US, or Canada, since they're all English speaking. Guess what? Germany also teaches English in English. So they have several programs that the language of instruction is in English. It should be one of the countries you should be looking at, especially if you want to look at pioneering research areas, top trending research focus areas. Look at Germany as well. All right.
Yeah, and some of the universities in Germany to consider as some of them are Technical University of Munich. This is one of the top universities in Germany and also in the world. Okay, it is renowned for its excellence in engineering and technology. So there's also this one, Aachen University, Aachen, something like that. It's also very good. Then we have Technical University of Berlin. Just like Mr. Priye had said, Berlin is one of the standout locations in Germany and in Europe for tech. And so there's a university called Technical University of Berlin. So let's say you're interested in tech and you want to apply, you can consider these schools. If you do your search diligently, you should also be able to find full scholarship or cheap programs from some of these schools. But of course, Advantage Migration is something we do. We know the nitty-gritties of every top country in the world, most of these high-income countries, and how to get full scholarship, cheap programs from them. So if you're interested in securing full scholarship or cheap program in any of these top countries, please send us an email at admission@vantagemigration.ca or log on to our website at www.vantagemigration.ca. So now I have mentioned top countries in the world. When you be like in the world, be like, this is going to be very competitive. Yes, you can get in. Remember, Advantage Migration, we preach that your grade is not the reason why you shouldn't study abroad. That's the fact. And most of the students who have churned out who have gone on to study in different countries of the world have, most of them are not top students, let's say, in the sense that they came on first class or what have you, but they all went on to study in any all these countries. So we have students that have gone on to the US, to Canada, to UK, to Germany, everywhere. Okay, so
That's
you
true.
too, you
That's true.
can be a beneficiary of scholarships through programs to study in any of these quality universities in the world. Even schools like MIT, they have scholarship programs. They also have scholarship programs. Different kinds of scholarships is available, right? Yes, they tend to look for that admission requirements tend to be very high, but there are also ways to you can maneuver it. If you submit an excellent application, you should be able to get in. Okay, so we've gone down to discuss about the top three in my list. Okay, but there's another school of thought that feel it should be America, China, and India as the top three countries in tech to study in the world. What is your take on it? Okay, so for me, I think US, right? I think China, right? But India, I don't know. I don't know, but
Don't
I think I can give
underrate
it
the
to them.
Indians.
I think I give it to the Indians. Why? Because they also have a lot of these companies and countries in. If you go to a lot of these companies, you will actually find Indians working there. They may not have the capacity to create theirs, but they definitely have the minds. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. They definitely have the minds
If I could say
to
one
work in
thing,
tech.
um,
Yeah.
due to some research I've done in the area of payment processors, there are very promising startups coming from India. Yeah, that's right. Payment processors.
Mm.
So basically, we are talking about the platforms that you would use to carry out international transactions. I'm in Mumbai or I'm in New Delhi and I want to pay for something from Amazon and all of that. Instead of just using the popular international payment processors, MasterCards, and all of that, there are some platforms, some startups that are developing the capacity for Indians to use their own platform to make payments. So think of, if you're from West Africa, think of Paystack, Mpaga. You have similar processing platforms coming out from India as well. One of which is Paytm or something like that, Paytm or so. And it's making a lot of waves because prior to now, Indians digital payment processors was not a big thing in India, but it's these startups are now penetrating the Indian markets, increasing their share of the market as well as increasing India's access to digital payment processors by significant numbers. So right now, no less than 45% of Indians regularly use indigenous providers of digital processing platforms. So in India, it's not in the level of US yet. But like I said, don't underestimate them. They have smart people, they are visionary, and they seem to want to tell the whole world that we can do it too. Yeah, I think that's for you.
Yeah. So I think I give it to India. So let's say you want to school in India, since there are some people, there's also top three. What we do, you can look out for schools like India Institute of Technology, India Institute of
Uh-huh.
Science, International Institute of Information and Technology. Okay, those are three great schools in India that talks about tech, and I think the tuition there is also going to be very great. Okay, so you want to consider that. China, I agree more because and a lot of the products in the markets are from China, made in China, and all like that. So I think they have great
Looking at
minds and they
mobile
are good
phones, the
with tech.
popular popular phones, Chinese, yes,
Yeah,
their product.
Chinese, they are also good. They are good in tech. So if you want to stand out in tech, you can also consider going to a Chinese school. Some of the names are very funny. Okay, but we have the University of Peking. Peking University. It's in Beijing. It's a very prestigious and school and very good school for tech. It's very good actually. You can Google it, Peking University. You can also look out for University of Science and Technology, China. Okay, China University of Science and Technology. Just search it out. I think it's located somewhere in. Let me check. Hefei or something like that. Okay, so look out for China. There's also a third university, Tsinghua University. These are great universities in China. And remember, Advantage Migration, we're also looking at what's going to be beneficiary to you. So you might want to check out this schools. Probably they also have cheap tuition that you love, full scholarships, no problem. So you check it out. The main thing is most time when people want to study abroad, there's a driving force. You want to better your life. You intend to probably return back to your home country to stand out in in your career. You're seeking for knowledge, right? To be able to do your work better, to stand out in the job market. And then when you bring results, when you bring certificates, degrees from this kind of schools, these countries, and school with results bearing this school's name and from all these great countries we've mentioned, you will definitely be picked in the job market. You stand out, you stand tall among your peers. And so you can look at them. I know, let's say, technically, going to China to school or to India may not be the in thing now among most international students, right? But
Yeah.
then look at the 1 year you're going to look at the 1 year you're going to spend or 2 years you're going to spend as an investment, right, for your future and bigger picture, and then that should help you make the right decision. But of course, if you decide you want to go to the US, to Canada, to Germany, please, you are very free to do so, and there are full scholarships and low tuition fees in these schools. So for the past few sessions before the last one, we found you cheap programs and full scholarships in Canada. Then we went on to Belgium. Belgium is another great country in tech, and so many of them, Australia, what have you. These are great countries, right? So you can try anyone and you will definitely stand out. Advantage Migration, being your best advantage, will bring you up to date information on and tips on helping you study better, study smarter, and also travel without stress. So we find cheap programs here, we find free scholarships here. If you would love us to teach you how to find it for yourself and also guide you, please log on to our website at www.vantagemigration.ca. Now, we have brought you all these great schools in different countries. We didn't put UK on the list, but UK is also up there in terms of tech and many others. Okay, so there are so many great countries to choose from. Advantage Migration, we have a program we call finding the your country of best fit. So there are so many great programs, which is best countries, which is best suited for you. Let's say you want to study in the UK, unless you're doing a PhD program, you may not be able to bring your family. So yeah, you want to go do tech, but you can't go with your family. What will you do? Or you want to attend college in Canada, your spouse may not be able to work full time. So what do? You need to up your game, right? So in our course, we teach you Advantage Migration during our training. We'll teach you everything about a country, the universities inside, and the pros and cons. So by the time we give you arrays of quality information, you better make your choice and you make a more informed choice and decision based on the information we give you. These and many more, full scholarship, cheap program, and I always advocate full scholarship. There's no need for you to pay from your pocket. Just take the time to train, to get trained. You only attend our training for 1 month, and after that, we will always be at your service. You can reach us 24 hours. You'll be in a group where you have access to course facilitators, experts, editors that's going to review your admission programs, your documents to ensure everything you submit is top notch, right? So you have access to us 100%. Once a Vantage student, always a Vantage student. Even after you've arrived at your country, you still have access to us, right? Yes. So what are you waiting for? I don't know why people feel they can't get scholarship. You can get scholarship even with low grade. You just need to get trained on what to do. And of course, apply and you will definitely be successful. We have what we call document registration. With our document machine, you can submit as many documents as possible, quality documents. You don't need to repeat. Some people go to pay a professional writer, and then when they give them one generic document, you keep replicating it and submitting to different schools. Nah, because some of these schools need you to customize. There's so many things they're looking out for. You cannot afford to sound too robotic in your application. And that is why our document machine and our in-house editors are it's very important for you in your study abroad career. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Mr. Priye, for joining us. Okay. Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me.
I don't know if we have time for one or um I think maybe we should we take any one or two questions or we call it a day.
Let's take one or two
Um
questions. Yeah.
okay. Okay. All right, so we have okay, there's this question. Hello Ma. Hi. What usually causes visa denial? Right. This is another aspect. So we may be hammering on study abroad, go to tech, but you can secure admission and you get your visa. One of the most common reasons for visa denial is insufficient funds. Another reason is not finding your course of best fit. This course of best fit often come into play when you're securing your visa. So you might have been able to apply and got admission, but you need to convince the visa officer that this program you're going for is actually your course of best fit. So while we may have brought you a program in tech, for instance, finding your course of best fit, try on your own to, let's say, switch from law, as you did your LLB in law, and then you want to take a, let me say, you want to do computer science. How would that fly? There's a lot going on there, right? But then you can still do that. You can still do computer science. You can still take a program in tech, for instance, based
Yep.
on the principle of course of best fit. If you don't do all that is necessary to match your course of best fit, to show the visa officer that this is indeed the right program for you, your visa will be denied, and it will be denied on the basis of the fact that there is no basis why you want to study this program. You're only looking for a course just so that you can travel out of the country, but you have no interest in actually taking um, that program. This has come up so many times, every time. So the visa officer will be like, you just want to move out. So I said one time or so on social media, I ran into a comment or a video posted by somebody in, let's I think he was in the UK, and he said he was in a course he does not know anything about. You see that? Those are what they try to avoid. Those are what they try to avoid. So most time they'll be like, just want to move out. You're not interested in this program. So in your course of best fit, even though you want to take a giant leap from one career path to the other, you probably did law and you discovered that you would rather be baking, you're a caterer in spirit, or you are a painter in truth. You can take that career switch, but through the principles and lay down formulas in the course of best fit. So these are one of the reasons why you may be denied your visa. And Vantage migration will teach students how to find their course of best fit. So if you want to take a leap, you want to jump from, let's say you did law and you want to go into nursing, and you don't want to start doing BSc in nursing, but postgraduate in nursing, will teach you how to find your course of best fit. If you can do it on your own, great. That way, you will stand out in your visa application and you will not be denied visa. But if you don't know how to do it on your own and you don't seek help, you will be denied visa. You will be denied visa, no, even if you have the money. Some people feel like, but there's a pathway for me to remain afterward. Why do they deny me visa? Like as if they don't want us to come into the country. The fact is, you as long as far as they're concerned, once you're going to the temporary route, which is the study route, you must fulfill all righteousness that you will return to your home country and that you meet all the requirements for a study visa. If you don't, you'll be denied your visa. And not finding your course of best fit is one way people fall out a lot. And then the second part is scholarship. Is improve for funds. The best ways to improve funds is probably having your own savings in your account, right? And also, and not just having in your account, there are so many things to it. If you have so many thoughts in your account that does not explain, that's not clear to the visa officer, your visa will be denied, even though you have the right money in your account. So there are so many shady areas too in having money in your account. But generally, technically speaking,
Green
your
areas.
own personal savings will always ensure you have your visa is approved. But you can have the money. Yes, you can have the money, but you did not also fulfill some requirements. Let's say proof of tie. Two major things about studying abroad is you have to prove tie to your home country that you will return to your home country, and you also have to prove that you have sufficient funds to um, to to sponsor and fund your stay in the country while studying. Remember that in most countries of the world, generally the primary visa applicant or study visa applicant has to cannot work for more than some limited hours. You're not permitted to work full time. The window was only during the lockdown period in 2020 thereabouts. Some countries extended the time, but now they've closed it. Even Canada, which extended it to up to March, I think as of March they have closed the window. So you are now limited to work. You're only working for some limited hours in a week until unless you have your own vacation when you can work unlimited hours. So they need you to have sufficient funds to take care of yourself for generally and technically a year without needing the system to help you, because you're not coming as a refugee. And if you even think that okay, I can go on a visa, visitor visa, and then I'll switch to refugee status, you are killing yourself. So many people that tried that part are now regretting it. You will never be able to enter the mainstream. Refugee status have limitations. It have limitations. And most times, even with a refugee status, you might be deported. You will be deported because, of course, by the time you go to court and you can't prove why you're a refugee, you'll be deported. I've seen that happen so many times. And once you entered as a refugee and you get deported, or you entered as a visitor, probably I decided to go as a refugee, so you remain, you get marked. There's this stigma on you that you can never remove. So that part is not advisable, right? So these and so many more. So the best way, apart from savings, scholarship, I love to advocate for scholarship because apart from the fact that when you secure scholarship, it's helping to prove funds. Scholarship is also kind of like a magnet. Scholarship and visa approval are like are magnetic
Correct.
forces. They always attract each other. That's basically it. When you once you provide a scholarship document, oh, I am on scholarship, this school offered me scholarship, either partial scholarship or full scholarship, you are seen in the eyes of the visa officer as good to go, because the school in their country thought you worthy of being issued a scholarship. So your visa is automatically approved. If you get a visa denial, then you really submitted a very, very terrible visa document. That's all I can say. If not, if you secure a scholarship, you are as good as already in the country. Just tell everybody bye bye. Thank you so much. Give you have a good day. So that's it. And so many others. Remember, I've talked about inability to prove funds, um, lack of ties to home country, cost of best fit. The other reasons could be technical issues, like maybe you did not fill a part of the document, you omitted a document. So most times, if that happens, they might request, if you submit the right documents, you will just be granted visa. Those are technical issues. Maybe you fail to submit a proper document. If that happens, you just submit the right documents and you go. But where the issue is based on your funds, not your cost, not cost of best fit, or inability to prove tie to home country, most of the time it is very technical. And if you have a visa denial, I advise you to seek help on what to do to correct it. If you've gotten visa denial, don't try anymore on your own. Go out for seek for professional help. And we have a whole visa class and visa experts, lawyers in the house to teach you and guide you on how to ensure you submit a quality visa documents and get your visa in one try. If you take Vantage masterclass and you don't get your visa, you don't get admission or scholarship, then you did not apply everything you are taught. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the application of knowledge. So when you seek for knowledge and you are guided and you don't apply what we teach you, that's when you get your visa denial. But everyone who has applied everything we've taught them, always stand out. All right. So with that, we've come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section, and we will take them short in subsequent session. So next session, we're going to bring in full scholarship. Can I know in the comment section the programs you want me to look out for? Anytime I do this scholarship search, I just pick a random program, random subjects. But you can tell me in the comment section what program you're interested in, and I will look out for those programs and bring you full scholarships of those programs. Okay, so let me know in the comment section. Even though we're no more live, you can drop that in the comment section. The course, your course of interest and the country, that will help my search. Okay, the course of interest and the country. So we're bringing you full scholarship next session. Watch out for that. Right. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Mr. Priye, for your time. We were really glad, and we thank you for the wealth of knowledge, since you're very vast in tech. Thank you so much, Mr. Priye.
Thank you for having me, Chinaya. And thank you, our lovely viewers,
Right.
for watching us. You keep us coming back every Tuesdays and Fridays to do this. It's because of you guys. So tune in again next time. We're happy to have you.
All right. Thank you so much. With that, we'll call it a day. So it's bye for now. Bye.
Bye for now.
Vantage migration. Anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, we are your number one educational consultants. We are your number one educational consultants. For your admission, for your scholarship, no matter the degree, we are ready for you all over the world. For your PhD, for your PhD. For your masters, we are ready for you. Anywhere in the world, 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 anywhere in the world. Vantage migration. We are ready for you. Anywhere in the world. Vantage migration. We are your advantage.